you can influence other people. Perhaps you are in a leadership role. Maybe you are starting out. Perhaps you are a director of senior VP or C-suite, and you want to be able to speak in a way that influences other people so that you can accomplish some of the goals, missions, visions that you're trying to accomplish in your businesses, or etc. In this video, I'm going to share with you a couple of key insights that will help you to learn how to speak and influence other people as a leader. Now, one of the critical measurements of leadership is your ability to influence other people. And if this is something that you have struggled with, or you know there's a certain aspect of influencing others that you could potentially improve upon, or maybe you have influenced other people in the past, but you're noticing your ability to influence others is starting to fade, this video will give you some insights for you to consider as you're going through your journey. Now, if you're new to me, welcome, welcome. And if you are one of my amazing subscribers, welcome back, friend. I'm so glad that you're here today. This channel focuses very heavily on advanced communication skills and strategies. And if you want to be a part of one of the only YouTube channels here that is building a massive amount of content as it relates to high stakes, high pressure situations in terms of how you communicate in those situations, then you absolutely want to subscribe to this channel. My mission here is to help you be able to communicate more confidently and concisely under pressure. And if you happen to be a woman in leadership that is in a transition, maybe you are in a director role, maybe you are in a C-suite executive role, or maybe you're transitioning to a senior manager role, then you will gain a lot of information from this content and learn how to communicate under pressure. If you're not in that audience, you're a man in leadership, or maybe you are someone that is thinking about leadership, I guarantee you that you're going to gain a tremendous amount of value here on this channel. All right, I want to say hello to Cat 23rd. Hello, good morning, Cat. How are you doing today? Cat says, hey, Dark, 100 and heart. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Now, let's talk about how to speak to influence others. And I'm going to give you just a couple key insights that will help you, and we can dive a bit more into this later in the live. I do want to give a special shout out to Kat for this topic, because Kat mentioned specifically about wanting to have a topic or a conversation about relationship and influence. So I appreciate that topic suggestion from Kat. All right, we have Ibrahim, and I'm sorry, I can't read the rest of your name because I'm driving. It says, are you in Ohio? No, I'm in Florida. We have another user. I'm going to say Chid, hopefully. It says, hello, welcome, welcome. We have Mateo. Hello, welcome, welcome. And Cat 23rd says, appreciate you too. And heart emoji. Thank you, Cat. I appreciate that. So let's talk about influencing. How do you influence other people, and how can you do it? How can you speak that way? All right, now I want to say hello to those of you on the live today. Welcome, welcome. Let me know what part of the big beautiful world you are joining from today, and if you would like to learn at least two key strategies in terms of how you can speak to influence others, then place something in the comments below. And if you like this type of content, you absolutely should subscribe to this channel. I will show you how to communicate confidently and concisely under pressure. Whether you're in salary negotiations, whether you are in a contentious conversation, or you're having a difficult conversation with a team member, I will help you get there. All right, I want to say hello to Garana. Hello, welcome, welcome. Okay, now let's talk about it. When you are at the point where you're trying to influence other people, the way you communicate when you influence other people is very, 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 very important. And let me explain to you why this particular strategy will help you. When you are trying to influence other people, it is very difficult for you to do this if you are not in a position where you can engage your audience. Now, many people say, I'm a leader, I just want to be able to influence other people. Well, you can, but one of the strategies that I would recommend for you to incorporate into your speaking is to become a public speaker. Now, you may be saying, I'm afraid of public speaking and I don't want to speak in public. Public speaking, whether you are in a smaller setting or in a larger setting, will help you to be able to influence other people. Why is that? When you think about leaders, and if you have a leader specifically that you have been influenced by, thank you for the heart emojis, friends. If you have a leader that you have been influenced by, then put it in the comments below. Let's talk about it very briefly. But leaders are able to influence others by the way they communicate. If you look at leaders of countries, of any country, how do they communicate? They communicate in a way where they influence other people. And if you're trying to become a better leader and you want to influence others, learning how to speak in public is something that is going to be absolutely critical to your success. Now, if you happen to be a woman in leadership that is transitioning in your career into a different role or etc., I have a high stakes communication intensive that will help you to prepare yourself for those situations. And I also have a public speaking intensive as well that will help you to develop those skills that you need to influence other people. Now, another strategy, and this is my second one I'll share with you, that you need if you're trying to speak in a way that influences people, is that you have to be able to be relatable to the people you're speaking with. What do I mean by that? When you think about leaders, and let me know in the comments below, who are some of your favorite leaders that you can think of that have influenced you? Just put them in the comments below. Let's talk about it. But when it comes to influencing other people, when you think about the definition that I read a couple weeks ago from Merriam-Webster, the purpose of being able to influence other people is to make an impact, cause them to do something without force. And the way you do that is by being relatable. When you are communicating with other people and you're trying to relate to them, they have to understand or have some insight or thought that you understand what they are going through. You understand their struggles. You understand their challenges. Thank you for the heart emojis, friends. You understand their day-to-day issues that they are dealing with in the specific role, the industry, or the communities that they live in. If you are not able to relate to other people, meaning, let me give you an example. For instance, right now, gas prices are high. Okay, we are in April of 2026 and gas prices are extremely high. We have a conflict going on in the Middle East right now with Iran, and gas prices are high. If you can't relate to people and say, I understand that you may be struggling right now financially, people are not going to feel like you understand them. Therefore, you are going to have a very difficult time influencing them. Now, I just mentioned gas prices because that's something universal that all of us across the world are dealing with in terms of being able to make it day to day. But when you're trying to influence other people, it is so critically important for you to be able to understand what they're going through. Now, let's say you are in a leadership role and you don't know what people are going through. You have no idea what struggles they're dealing with. Then you need to find out. You want to find out what struggles they are dealing with, what are the challenges they are expecting or experiencing right now, and be able to find a way to reflect back on your own personal experiences in terms of times where you may have had an issue like that. Now, I want to share with you that many leaders, many established leaders, forget that they have been through hard times too. They forget, thank you for the heart emojis, that they have struggled in the past. They forget that they have may have had a situation where their businesses weren't doing well. They were not doing well personally. They were not doing well financially. They were not doing well in different other aspects of their lives. And this is the reason why, if you are one of those leaders that I mentioned at the beginning, maybe you've had influence before, and thank you for the heart emojis, maybe you lost your influence. This is probably one of the reasons why you are losing your influence, because there is a certain aspect of the way that you are communicating with your teams, your business associates, your partners, and etc., that is no longer relatable to other people, meaning that they don't feel like you understand their challenges. They don't feel like you understand what they're going through. And if you are a leader and you have found that you have lost your influence, I have something really great to share with you. You can get your influence back. And the way you are able to achieve your influence or regain your influence back is by being relatable to other people. Take some time, think about your teams, and thank you for the heart emojis. Think about your teams, think about some of the challenges that they may be experiencing, some of the issues they may be dealing with. It could be your teams, it could be your business associates, it could be your constituents, anybody. Understand what they are going through. Just take a moment. It doesn't take long for you to be empathetic. It doesn't. It just takes you wanting to be empathetic as a leader. And if you're at a point where you're trying to make some big transitions and you want to influence other people, then this is something that you want to absolutely be able to do. So I hope this gives you some insight in terms of at least 2 strategies you can use to speak in a way that is more influential. One, you want to be a public speaker. You want to engage your audience. There's a ton of content on my channel here. I have over 1,000 videos that will give you a solid foundation that will help you be able to interact, engage your audience so that they feel seen, they feel heard, and they are excited to hear you speak. So becoming a public speaker is critically important to influencing others. The second strategy that I shared with you is to take some time and be relatable. Being relatable will automatically help you to influence others. And as I mentioned in the definition on Merriam-Webster, you want to be able to influence other people to the point where you are not doing it by force. So let me go through the chat really quickly before I finish up with the live. We have Dankin Rancon, hello, hello. And we have Akesia. Well, hello, Akesia. Good to see you, friend. It is early morning here, so I'm glad to see you. Akesia says Greece plus Cyprus plus Israel strategic alliance. All right, fantastic. Well, I appreciate you all for joining today. And if you like this information, you're welcome to subscribe to the channel. This is the only channel on YouTube that is talking about high stakes, high pressure communication in a live setting. There are no other channels on YouTube that are like this. We go through a lot, and if you are at a point where you've ever struggled at all, what you have had to deal with as a leader in terms of communicating, etc., this is the best place for you to be. All right, so let me see what else is in the chat. Kat says, hey, chat, Doc, gotta go. Okay, have a good day. Thank you. I appreciate that, Kat. Appreciate that. I appreciate you all for being here. Join me later this evening, and we'll talk a little bit more about this topic. Remember those 2 critical strategic insights I gave you. Become a better public speaker if you want to influence others, and be relatable. That's so critically important. I will see you all in the next video, and I hope you have an absolutely amazing day. Feel free to like this video and share it with a friend that you know is trying to communicate at a higher level than their peers. Have a good day. Bye for now.